Dreamlight World Media dengan USC School Cinematic Arts dan juga Kedutaan Besar Amerika Serikat. Mari kita beri tepuk tangan dan apresiasi buat acara ini buat kita semua. Baik, sebelum masuk ke sesi screening kita akan saksikan bersama. Yang pertama adalah sambutan dari Dreamlight World Media yang nanti akan memberikan sambutan adalah Larissa Nugroho sebagai perwakilan dari Dreamlight World Media. Dipersilakan kepada Larissa Nugroho.
Thank you. Selamat pagi semuanya. It takes great courage to be the first. Dibutuhkan keberanian yang besar untuk menjadi yang pertama. Bayangkan orang yang pertama kali mencoba pesawat terbang atau explorer yang pertama kali menjelajahi tempat yang tidak diketahui. Tidak ada satupun yang tahu akan apa yang akan terjadi. No one knows what's going to happen. Ada risiko yang begitu besar. Namun, ketika orang itu berhasil, ia membuktikan bahwa orang lain bisa juga. Pintu itu sudah terbuka. Presiden wanita pertama di Indonesia, Megawati Soekarno Putri. Pelopor edukasi untuk wanita di tanah air kita, Raden Ajeng Kartini. Pejuang yang berani bertempur untuk membela Indonesia, Cut Nyak-din. Desainer yang membuat kebaya tenar di luar negeri, Anne Avanti. Jurnalis yang jeli dengan pengamatannya tentang politik, Najwa Shihab. Inilah wanita-wanita hebat di negara kita. Perempuan inspiratif yang dikenal masyarakat dan dipelajari di sekolah-sekolah. Karena mereka dan apa yang mereka capai, banyak perempuan di negeri ini bisa bermimpi untuk meraih sukses juga. Pahlawan wanita bukan hanya mereka yang terkenal saja. Wanita inspiratif adalah setiap ibu yang tiap pagi membuatkan sarapan untuk keluarganya. Ialah perempuan berkarir yang bekerja keras sepanjang hari, lalu harus pulang untuk mengurus keluarganya. Ialah single mothers yang harus menghidupi anaknya sebagai tulang punggung keluarga. Ialah artis, politikus, guru, desainer, entrepreneur, mereka yang tidak mau dibatasi oleh keadaan atau pandangan orang lain. Wanita hebat ada di sekeliling kita semua. Itulah mengapa jurnalis dan wartawan memiliki pekerjaan yang mulia. Merekalah yang menceritakan kisah-kisah ini dari yang terkenal dan yang belum dikenal. Those who tell the stories rule the world. Hari ini kita akan menyaksikan beberapa kisah wanita hebat di Amerika yang menjadi pionir dalam bidangnya. Dan di balik karya-karya ini ada juga wanita luar biasa, an amazing young woman, Spencer Bakalar, yang karena dedikasinya, ia dapat menginspirasi banyak orang melalui karyanya. Spencer, you highlighted some phenomenal women through your work. Through you and your team at times, you have inspired girls and women to pursue their dreams and defy the odds. Journalists like you give people the platform and the voice to be heard. Thank you for your work. Keep telling stories. Thank you to the U.S. embassies and the American Film Showcase for this great program, where we can learn, exchange ideas, and start to tell our stories as well. And to all storytellers, welcome. Prepare to be inspired, and perhaps you can be a first in your life as well. Thank you.
Terima kasih Larissa Nugroho. Dan berikutnya adalah perkenalan dan sambutan dari Bapak Jed Dornberg selaku Deputy Cultural Attaché dari Kedutaan Amerika. Selanjutnya persilahkan ke Bapak Jed Dornberg.
Selamat pagi semua. Pagi. Nama saya Jed Dornberg dan saya Wakil Attaché Kebudayaan dari Kedutaan Besar Amerika Serikat. Mohon maaf, belum bicara bahasa Indonesia. Yeah? So that's where my bahasa stops. But I want to thank you and thank the administration here at the Dreamlights for having us, by welcoming us, hosting us here today, and being able to share this program with you all. This is a very interesting program, something that the embassy has been working with for a number of years. The American Film American Film Showcase. And this is a program that allows us to bring American filmmakers and share their experiences, their expertise, their stories with people all over the world. And we've been doing this for about 7 to 8 years here in Indonesia. And it's a great opportunity to come here and share that with you all so that you can learn from America's experience with film. It's also one of many of programs that we run across the country, sharing American experience, American lifestyles, and also having you share with our Americans about Indonesia. Because fundamentally, this is a relationship, and we want it to be a two-way conversation where we learn from Indonesia and Indonesia learns from the United States. This is a special year for the United States Embassy. This is the 70th year of Indonesia-US relations. Indonesia and the United States have shared ambassadors and embassies for 70 years, 70 years. And that means that we've made a huge number of friends in Indonesia. We've learned and grown together, and we are looking to and hoping to continue to grow and learn from each other in the next 70 years. But this year especially, we are celebrating that special relationship and all of the wonderful opportunities and experiences that we've had in Indonesia. So without much more ado, I want to thank you again for having us, hosting us here, and I hope you enjoy today's event. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih Bapak Jen Domberg dari Kedutaan Amerika. Selanjutnya kita akan masuk ke screening film first, tapi sebelumnya mungkin dari Spencer Bakalar akan menyampaikan sesuatu terlebih dahulu.
Sorry. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming today. My name is Spencer. I'm a senior video producer at Time Magazine, and I'm just so honored that I get to be here with you all and share firsts, which was a true labor of love for 2 years for myself at Time. And it was really just an honor to meet these women and learn from their lives and hear their advice and their stories.
Selamat pagi, Ibu dan Bapak, teman-teman sekalian. Adalah sebuah kehormatan bagi saya untuk berada di sini bersama dengan kita semua untuk menyaksikan film hasil bukan hanya kerja keras tapi kerja cinta saya selama 2 tahun terakhir. Adalah pengalaman yang luar biasa bagi saya bertemu dengan perempuan-perempuan hebat di seluruh Amerika Serikat.
And just a little bit about first, to give you a little bit of an overview. We interviewed close to 50 women in the United States who were the first in their fields to break the glass ceiling. So they accomplished a lot, and they ranged from every industry you can imagine.
Kami melakukan wawancara kepada 50 perempuan di seluruh Amerika Serikat yang adalah orang yang pertama di bidangnya masing-masing. Mereka berasal dari berbagai bidang yang bisa Anda bayangkan.
And so there's a lot of videos. They live online. You can find all of them at time.com/firsts. And it was a big project for Time. There were a ton of covers. So it was really special to us.
Ya, dan nanti Anda bisa menemukan kisah-kisah perempuan ini juga daring melalui website time.com. Ini adalah proyek majalah Time, time.com/first dengan S ya, with S first ya. Dan di sana kisah-kisah 50 orang perempuan yang mendobrak glass ceiling atau batasan terhadap mereka itu ada di website tersebut.
That's it. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you.
Terima kasih, selamat menikmati. Nanti kita ada sesi tanya jawab setelah penayangan film. Terima kasih.
when I graduated from college. It was just kind of expected that you would get married and have children, like my mother had done, have a drink ready for my father when he came home from work. It never occurred to me that I would go down another path. We opened Chez Panisse in 1971 in Berkeley, California. We were 3 women. We were not chefs. We never operated the restaurant the way we were expected to. We were cooking the way that we cooked at home. And because we had only one menu every night, it had to be really good. I was shocked when the French chefs came to the restaurant and they said, "That's not cooking, that's shopping." But here we are 45 years later. The restaurant really became what it is because of taste. Women are very concerned about nourishment, about really taking care of people. I love for everybody to sit down and eat together.
Voilà, c'est fini.
My whole career was kind of the first of my generation because women had not been down those roads before. Our challenge was not to let the bureaucracy or the institution keep us from career-enhancing jobs. That was our journey, to keep pushing those doors open. I didn't look at myself as a woman in uniform, I looked at myself as a soldier. When they decided to disband in the Women's Army Corps and actually started letting women integrate into the regular army, for the first time, women had the same opportunity to have the same career path as their male counterparts. I asked the Army what branch would send me to Airborne School. Quartermaster branch says, "We'll send you." And I said, "I'm in." When I got down there, I thought, this is so exciting. The Army's gonna pay me to jump out of an airplane. The instructor said, "I'm sorry, you can't wear barrettes or bobby pins in your hair while you're jumping out of an airplane. It's hazardous to your health." And I just said, "I'm not cutting my hair." Went and got some masking tape. I got rid of all my barrettes, and I taped my hair to my head and put my helmet on, and I never heard another word about it. Well, I never worked for a woman. I've only worked for men who believed in me or didn't. And fortunately, most of them were advocates for me, and the others you try to make believers out of non-believers. So I come from a family of 4 generations of West Pointers. Throughout my career, I had a dad who was kind of a mentor. But I can tell you there was no one prouder than my dad at my promotion ceremony to 4 stars.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, congrats.
And sure enough, he was there in the front row in a wheelchair and stood up for the national anthem. This whole paving the way is a journey, and I said I'll be the first, but I won't be the last. And I gave a presentation about you at school. So I hope one day I can be just like you, from Ryan Marie, age 8. Isn't that cute? And I think, God, I couldn't even imagine that when I was growing up. And now these kids know that's as possible for them.
I was around 8 or 9. My dad asked me to sing that day. Had he have not been a minister, he could very well have been a great singer. I really didn't want to sing, but he heard the possibilities and he continued to encourage me to sing. And thank God he did. Music is motivating and inspiring, transporting. I think that women immediately relate to the lyrics.
Here's the First Lady of Soul, Aretha Franklin. R-E-S-P-C-T, about what it means to me.
We can all learn a little something from each other, so whatever they could be inspired by where my music is concerned is great. I don't think women need to do anything other than what they're doing right now, and that's moving forward, moving to the forefront, moving into the areas where men have largely held captive. We're coming.
When I first started IndyCars, people asked about being a role model and an idol to people, and what do you have to tell young girls? And I'm like, I'm a young girl, I don't know. It made me think about what it is that helped me get to where I am. It really goes back to trying new things all the time to figure it out, because there's a million things that haven't been done yet. And so, why not do them for the first time yourself? When I first started go-karts, I did not think about gender at all. And I'm sure that has a lot to do with the fact that my parents didn't point that out. My dad worked on car number 65, so my sister wanted to be go-kart number 65, and she wanted to race, and I just didn't want to get left out. Guys would be like whispering, and you know when people are talking about you, and you can kind of tell, and I knew that they were talking about me. And so from 16 to 19 years old, I went into not wanting to wear pink and purple and nail polish and be girly, and I didn't want to draw attention to myself in a feminine way. I feel like if there's a part of you that's hidden, it's hard to be joyful. I did a photo shoot for a men's magazine, and I got a lot of attention for it, and it was a lot of positive. Some of it wasn't. Some of it was judgmental on doing a photo shoot that wasn't so wholesome and pure. But it really also forced me to think about why and what came from that.
She's gonna take the high side, and Danica Patrick takes the lead at Motegi.
And I was like, being a girl is a positive, and I'm gonna use it. It doesn't change who I am as a driver. It doesn't change who I am as a person. It just lets me be exactly who I am.
As an artist, often they see the work before they see me, and then they would assume that a hard-drinking, smoking 80-year-old man drew it. I have two sisters, both older than me, and we'd sit around the kitchen table, and my sisters would draw, my mom would draw, and it was like magic. I wanted to do that so badly. Everything about me is a little bit unexpected. I'm quiet, I'm a female, I'm Asian. It's been an asset for me because people allow me to sort of carve out kind of my own space. My producer, Melissa Cobb, she came to me and said, "Jen, you should direct a movie." I says, "I can't do it, I haven't done it. I'm too quiet, I'm too introvert, I'm too this, I'm too that, And she said, "No, you can do it." I wouldn't have gone to that glass ceiling yelling and screaming. I said, "I'm gonna make you break." She literally put me in a catapult and threw me at it.
It's the first time I was at Buffalo Bills Stadium. I was in high school. My high school football team was playing in a playoff game here. Certainly at that time, I did not think I would be back here. It's kind of neat to be back here.
We have breaking news in our NFL Network newsroom.
A woman breaking through the glass ceiling.
The Buffalo Bills have hired Catherine Smith,
The league's first full-time female coach.
Most quality control coaches live in anonymity. So it was a little bit of a surprise that it blew up as much as it did. But they've just really embraced me as a coach, as another member of the staff, and not a lot of emphasis has been put on the fact that I'm a female and they're all males, and I've really appreciated that. Barbie tweeted at me, actually, which I thought was really cool. I was pretty excited about that. Some girls probably don't follow football, didn't know anything about it, but maybe they just see that, hey, somebody did something that no one thought she could do. That's pretty cool. I can do that too.
When I was a little girl, I don't know that anyone would have leapt ahead and grabbed the word astronaut for what they thought I might end up doing. But I'm pretty sure they also didn't leap ahead and grab the word normal. I was always reading a lot, and usually reading about other people and other places where there were adventures or interesting landscapes or strange creatures, and imagining what it would be like to be there.
When you were first made aware of the fact that you had been selected, how did you react to that?
I was obviously very excited, and I remember the morning and the whole day, in fact, quite well.
All 6 of us in that first batch of women, we certainly realized that we were going to be watched carefully. We also, in an extra way, I think, wanted to be sure we did a good job, a classy job, a smart job, so that the question was firmly settled and the runway was well paved for other women to follow us. NASA, when we all joined the astronaut corps in 1978, the notion that women might actually menstruate in orbit just drove the whole place up the wall. There was a big debate about what's the dress code for women astronauts, and there was a senior engineering official on staff who said, well, what's the dress code for the men? I said, oh, we'd never have a dress code for the men astronauts. Well, I think you have your answer. I honestly never put it mentally in a frame of first for women. It was a first spacewalk for me.
This is the first chance I had to stick my head out the hatch on our EVA on day 7.
I wanted to do everything on the flight and the spacewalk really very well because I wanted a second one and a third one, right? To circle the Earth in an hour and a half, flying through every time zone, of looking down and watching, you see it's nighttime on the Earth right below you and your spacecraft is still fully lit by the sun, and you realize somebody might be down there looking up at the sky and saying, look, Mommy, a satellite, and they're looking at you. Glass ceilings certainly do exist. They're not impenetrable. They sometimes take a couple of blows of the hammer to chip away at them. I was very, very fortunate and got to break through in space flight, and other times I think I've added a chip or two to it, but not been the final blow. Finding the discipline and strength to put yourself through something like that, succeeding at it, that as a package is pretty transformative.
I'm one of the few people that can really pinpoint a thing that totally changed my life. I was born in Japan, lived on a little rice farm. I was almost 8 years old when my mother decided that if there was ever going to be a life for herself and her children, she would have to bring us to Hawaii. We came in steerage with one suitcase. That's how poor people come to our country. I had no idea what life would have in store for me. I grew up knowing how vulnerable our family was and that everything relied on my mother. But this was also a country that gave me opportunities, and I early on decided that I would do something that would be meaningful. I just didn't think that it was going to be politics, because it is not the first thing that comes to mind, that a woman, immigrant, that we should run for office. It takes a lot for a woman to get to the U.S. Senate. Nobody hands these seats to us. And we're fighting very big battles to get to where we are. There were 5 of us, Democratic women, running for open seats in our respective states. So we would campaign together, and the dynamic, the visual of seeing all these women, it really hit the people who were at our events that this is a powerful gathering of women who could work together. The women of the Senate take turns hosting dinners on a regular basis, bipartisan, and it is not to fight about issues, but it is really to be supportive, get to know each other, and we create those opportunities which the men don't do that much. And I've told my mother, there's nothing I can do in my life that compares to what she did to bring 3 children to this country because she wanted a better life for us. Nothing that I do compared to that. What a country that in one generation, here I am.
For me, it was just my creative outlet. I had a chance to be able to connect to people who wanted to know and learn more about what I knew.
These are tips that I personally use every day, and they're super easy.
That gave me the opportunity to be a little more entrepreneurial, to be daring, and to just try something. If all these resources and tools are here for me, I'm not meant to keep it, I'm meant to share it. When I uploaded my first video, this was in 2007. It was still pretty early on with social media. I mean, social media wasn't even called social media yet. The problem was that access to beauty knowledge was so inaccessible. So I started to make these beauty videos, not thinking people would watch them. And they did, they caught on. And the more I was able to upload and produce, the more I understood that I think I could make a business out of this.
So let's begin with my first tip.
We have to see potential in something that no one is looking at. Being in the beauty industry, I've dealt with a lot of people who second-guessed me, who undermined me because of my age. Ageism is broken because of the internet. My mom was actually my biggest reason why I am such a hustler, I'm such an entrepreneur. She came from a war-torn country in Vietnam. She was able to immigrate here to America. This is the greatest reward for myself, is now I can take care of my mom.
Don't be scared to experiment. I mean, that's the whole point of makeup. You could play around with it and you can just wipe it off if you don't like it.
And here we go. The first advice I give to any women who want to become an entrepreneur or they want to have a business is find a problem that you see in any industry, and if you're very passionate about it, find a solution.
The first time I walked out on the baseball field to pitch, different guys saw me come out, and they were all just like saying that I wasn't going to be good, and just like telling jokes to their teammates, and the parents were laughing. But then when they saw me face the first batter, they were all shocked, and we didn't really hear anything from that side of the field.
It's over. Complete game for Monet Davis.
The word got around the league. Be aware for the Monarchs, they have this girl pitcher. Don't get too cocky or anything. Women can do anything that a man can do, so go women. My mom was very hesitant about it because it was like sports and like her daughter. She doesn't want her daughter to be playing sports. But then somehow we convinced her to change her mind, and now she enjoys watching me play. One time, my mom was like, here's the phone, someone wants to talk to you. So I answered, and he's like, hi, Monet, this is Kobe Bryant. And I was like, hi. And he was just saying, like, how inspiring it was to watch me and how cool it was. I was pitching against the guys, and I was just sitting there smiling and didn't have any words. After all of this, I learned how to have more fun while playing sports. Not just for myself, but for everyone else. For people to come up to me saying that I inspired them, it just kind of made me want to become a better player and a better person.
I wanted to know what it was like to see someone like me. And I didn't see any female elected officials. I didn't see any female leaders. Everywhere I went, people gave me reasons why I couldn't do it. And for all those reasons that they said I shouldn't, that was exactly why I thought I should. So I ran for governor. Growing up, we were the only Indian family in town. My father wore a turban, my mother wore a sari, and we were different. But my parents always said, you know, the things that make you different make you special. I think my differences have always had people underestimate me. And I think that's the fun I have, is in going and proving them wrong. And so I grew up always trying to show people what we had in common. It was kind of a shock for the elected officials in South Carolina. One, I was the first minority. Two, I was the youngest governor in the country. And three, oh my God, she's a girl. I don't think you should ever be so partisan to say we only want this kind of woman or that kind of woman. We need all women involved.
I come before you today both humbled and honored to be considered to represent the United States of America at the United Nations.
Now when the next woman decides to run, it won't be a big deal. It shouldn't be a big deal. Because I think that's what we try and break through, is to make sure that we take away any barrier that would keep someone from running for office.
Some eye patients are feeling like big winners because of a state-of-the-art eye operation that has given sight back to people who are almost totally blind.
I was not seeking to be the first. I was only attempting to do my thing. It's only when history looks back that you realize you were the first. I was always a curious child. I was what they call a nerd. When I joined the faculty in 1974, I was the first woman. And the office spaces were usually based on academic rank. The other assistant president was a guy. And I think they felt uncomfortable at putting us in the same office. Ridiculous. So my initial office was with secretaries. I'm a product of the 60s. And yes, when I was offered an office that was not equivalent to that of my male colleagues, I could have started marching. But I felt it was more important to focus on the prize.
Friends and colleagues, it's a pleasure to present this preliminary report on excimer laser cataract surgery.
One rainy, cold, lonely night in the labs, working until 2, 3 a.m. Eureka, laser phaco, came to the planet. I explained to the director what I had achieved, and he said, "You didn't do that, that's impossible." There was not acceptance, and in some instances, there was anger that petite moi, little me, had indeed shattered the glass ceiling, had a scientific breakthrough, and he wouldn't look me in the face. The narrative of surprise, it has to change. I realize that when I achieve these things, it helps what other women and other people of color, Black women, can do. But keep in mind, I never had any doubts.
Nobody said I was going to be a star someday, especially in this country. I was just a Puerto Rican child, but I knew I was going to be very active in the show business. I loved it. I was dancing from the time I was 4 or 5 years old. So I have done nothing else in my life except perform. When I was a young girl in films, I was a very passive young woman, and I let everybody in the world tell me what to do. I was only seen in one way and having to speak always with an accent. I couldn't even audition for anything that wasn't for a native girl. And native girls in movies in those days had no education whatsoever. They were way too sexy. It's something that you don't readily see for what it is. You just get this bad feeling about yourself. And that's when you really feel helpless. You see a script and you say, oh, I could play the heck out of that. Talk to your agent. And he says, they don't want to see you. That's heartbreaking. West Side Story changed my life. Anita had size and presence and dignity. And she became my role model, by the way. Isn't that interesting? It took that long for me to find a role model.
May I have the envelope, please? Rita Moreno in West Side Story.
Rita Moreno.
Here it is. Rita Moreno.
I mean, Rita Moreno is thrilled, but Rosa Dolores Alverio from Humacao, Puerto Rico is undone.
I'll come to the living room and look at the shelf and say, wow, who would have thunk? I'm a woman, but I'm still that Puerto Rican child who was called to speak. And I feel it in my soul. They're a wonderful, symbolic piece of metal that means a great deal to me. But I always have to remind myself that that isn't what makes me a valuable person. It just makes me a lucky person that one time in that year.
It isn't always easy to be on the stage and playing a tournament and then have someone making a comment about your body that, you know, it's too strong. But I think the biggest criticism that not only me, but my peers go through is there'll be something saying that we don't deserve as much prize money as our male counterparts. When you work so hard, you dedicate yourself, it shouldn't be a double standard. Pretty big significant first was winning my first Grand Slam. I was so young, I was 17, and I was just overwhelmed with joy. I remember like grabbing my chest like, oh my gosh. It was something that I knew for as long as I can remember, literally, that this is what I was gonna do. Growing up, I would have loved to have an amazing role model. I can't imagine what it would have been like if I did. So I feel like it's a great opportunity that some of these young ladies can have a positive role model. One moment in particular was my return Indian Wells. So I didn't play there for so many years because of some unfortunate experience because of my color.
May I say on behalf of everybody here at Indian Wells, welcome home, Serena Jamaica Williams.
But then when I did go back, I saw so many young kids there, young black girls, and they were so excited to see me. As one girl had up a sign that she was from Compton and she was there and she wanted to play tennis. It was an opportunity for me to realize that I'm here giving these people some sort of hope. I think every experience can make you stronger. I don't let anything break me.
Mostly, I just wanted to write people I wanted to watch. I remember being very surprised to discover that people thought that Meredith Grey and Christina Yang were revolutionary because I felt like they were just women I knew. Every time someone says, like, how do you write such smart, strong women? I find it appalling because it suggests that there are stupid, weak women, and that's who is generally out there.
This is
humiliating on so many levels.
Probably the biggest moment for us was the pilot had been shot. Betsy Beers, who's my producing partner, and I were brought into a room. I like to say it's the old white men room. And somebody in that room said, nobody's gonna wanna watch these women, they're not nice. And nobody's gonna like a woman who sleeps with a man the night before her first day of work. And Betsy Beers, to her wonderful credit, said, I slept with a guy the night before my first day of work. I mean, nobody wanted to say anything and they couldn't get out of that room fast enough. I hear a lot that what's great about the characters is that they're unapologetic. They don't want children and they're unapologetic about that. They love their jobs and they're unapologetic about that. And I think that women have been raised to believe that they're supposed to want certain things. And so you feel like you're supposed to apologize when you don't want those things. I don't think I ever go to work and feel like, this is great that I'm missing, months of failure on either side. And I've accepted that. But I can't imagine my life without my work. And I want my children to know me as somebody who works because that woman is way happier. And now my kids, they come to work, they play there, they know who I am, and they know that they expect themselves to be somebody like that. I think I'm extraordinarily lucky because I was really raised by a very, very powerful mother. My mother would never have allowed me to just be the nice girl. I really did enter college and enter life walking into a room absolutely thinking I belonged in any room I entered. Men will do anything. You can ask a man to do a job that he's never been qualified to do and he will raise his hand and say, absolutely, I will do that job. Women always say, I'm not sure if I'm ready yet, I need more experience, da-da-da. I don't necessarily know that there's anything wrong with being more cautious and careful, but we should also know that we're not going to feel any wiser or any more ready in 10 years than we did 10 years ago. So we might as well just leap.
When I was in high school, I remember being counseled by my mom that, oh, so you want to be a scientist. She just tried to prepare me, I think, for disappointment. But I loved science. I was a scientist at Harvard when I noticed a little paper on the bulletin board asking if anyone would be interested in living underwater as a scientist for 2 weeks. It was very clear that no one expected women to apply, but some of us did.
James Miller, who was head of the program, I think he had a good marriage. I know he did. And a good relationship with his mom, because his reaction was, well, half the fish are female. I guess we could put up with a few women. The men they called aquanauts. The women, not so much. We were aqua babes, we were aqua chicks, we were aqua naughties.
Ironically, these aquanauts are not men with extraordinary physical endurance and stamina, but 5 young and attractive women, the world's first real-life mermaids.
They wanted to know things like, well, did you use a hairdryer? Did you wear lipstick? But we used that opening to be able to try to explain the nature of the ocean, how beautiful it is, how vulnerable it is. For me, as a professional scientist, I found it always to be a juggling match. In fact, it took me 10 years to earn my PhD because I got married and had 2 children along the way. It's been a repeated thing. I missed some of the occasions that probably were really meaningful to my children. But at the same time, I was able to give my kids special opportunities to scoop them up when I could and take them to swim with dolphins or to swim with whales.
I really come to speak for the ocean.
Men are expected to be leaders, but women intellectually are every bit as competent as their male counterparts. It isn't a matter of how rough and tough you are or whether or not you can grow a beard. It is, can you do the job? I think that the time has just come when the competence of women as doctors, as lawyers, as scientists has made its mark enough times in enough places with enough power to finally break through.
When I graduated from college, it was just kind of expected.
Teman-teman sekalian, sekarang saatnya untuk kita sesi tanya jawab, tapi sebelumnya sekali lagi tepuk tangan untuk First dan untuk Ibu Spencer Bakalar. Saya kira banyak sekali yang sudah ada di benak teman-teman sekalian setelah menyaksikan film ini. Saya sendiri salah satu yang saya sesali adalah lupa membawa tisu. Sambil menyaksikan karya yang menurut saya fenomenal ini sangat berarti bagi saya pribadi dan saya kira sangat berarti juga bagi teman-teman yang menonton. Sampai bukan hanya air mata, ingus. Yang makanya saya tadi bilang salah satu yang saya lupa adalah saya lupa bawa tisu. Film ini tentu saja banyak mengundang perhatian dan banyak menginspirasi kita semua. Saya kira without further ado, I just did a quick opening and how I regret not bringing tissues because of how inspiring and how moving and how meaningful
that means
the film is in so many levels. I have to lead the discussions. I cannot weep, or in the Oprah's word, I cannot go into ugly cry. Okay, so shall we begin? Kita akan ada Q&A. Silahkan teman-teman bisa bertanya, menyampaikan tanggapan, komentar. Ada via Slido juga atau sambil memikirkan apa yang ingin ditanyakan disampaikan. So we will have direct Q&A and also through Slido. Let's see. Yes, we have two questions in English, and I will translate the Bahasa Indonesia questions to you. How do these women, the women in your film, face the worst time in their lives? And also, what is the similar feature? Like, what do you think the thread, like the red thread, from these women?
That's a great question.
Yeah, let's start with that then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for whoever submitted that. How do these women face the most trying times in their life? I think that for each of them, obviously, they'll have different answers because they each have different experiences. And I will say that when they face challenges in their pursuit of becoming the best that they could be in their careers, they turn to the people that were their support networks. They turned to bosses who were good to them, and they also dug really deep inside themselves to find that strength to keep moving.
Tentu saja perempuan-perempuan dalam film ini memiliki tantangan-tantangan yang berbeda di dalam hidup mereka, dan saya kira kalau kita tanyakan kepada mereka jawabannya juga berbeda-beda tentang bagaimana mereka menghadapi masa-masa terburuk dalam hidup mereka. Namun berdasarkan apa yang saya dapat dari wawancara dengan mereka, biasanya ketika menghadapi masa-masa yang sulit, mereka bertemu dengan teman-teman mereka, mendapatkan dukungan dari jaringan dan lingkungan terdekat mereka, juga mendapatkan dukungan dari bos mereka yang bisa mendukung mereka, dan yang paling penting adalah melihat ke dalam diri mereka sendiri dan menemukan kekuatan dari dalam untuk terus maju.
And what was the second part of that question?
The second part is, what do you think is a similar?
The common thread.
The common thread.
I
yes.
love this question, and I think this is something that really surprised me as I was working on the project. Obviously, when you see these women, they've accomplished so much, and being the first woman to walk in space, you think that's something that they've planned for their whole lives. But no one said, "I knew I wanted to be this." They just knew what they loved, and they worked really hard to do the best that they could and improve themselves, and kept striving to be better in small steps, which I think is something that all of us can take away from this and use in our own personal journeys and careers.
Pertanyaan berikutnya adalah apa kesamaan dari mereka semua? Berdasarkan pengalaman saya mewawancarai mereka, tentu kita melihat bahwa orang-orang ini mencapai banyak hal, mendarat di luar angkasa, itu adalah sesuatu yang sangat luar biasa. Tapi satu hal yang sama adalah mereka selalu mengatakan bahwa saya tidak pernah berpikir akan menjadi seperti itu. Yang saya lakukan hanya melakukan apa yang saya cintai, melakukan apa yang saya sukai, satu langkah demi satu langkah hingga akhirnya sampai. Tidak ada dari mereka ini juga yang mentargetkan atau bahkan menyangka akan sampai di sana. Jadi ini adalah saya kira menurut Ibu Spencer saya kira adalah satu hal yang bisa kita contoh semuanya. Semua dari kita bisa melakukan satu hal yang kita sukai dan melakukannya langkah demi langkah sampai mencapai hal-hal yang mungkin tidak kita bayangkan. Okay, yes, we have more questions. Which one do you want to answer
Let's talk about
first?
the obstacles.
Yeah. Obstacles, yes, let's go with obstacles. Yeah.
So when I got the assignment to start working on this, my partner and myself, Diane Tsai is the other co-producer for this, we were told to just do it. but we didn't know what constraints we would have. So with each of the women, we only had about an hour and a half total, and that was if they gave us more time. If we didn't have a lot of time with them, we would have 40 minutes to an hour. So figuring out how to get what visuals we could of them. So we would, all of those really, when they look really lovely in the B-roll shots is when they were getting their picture taken. So we took B-roll during that time, and then we had a short interview and just had to make that work. So I think that was probably the toughest.
Saya dan mitra kerja saya, Ibu Dayen namanya, awalnya ketika mendapatkan tugas ini, ya sudah kerjakan saja tanpa membayangkan tantangan apa yang akan kami hadapi. Salah satunya adalah perempuan-perempuan ini semuanya adalah perempuan yang penting dengan waktu yang sangat terbatas. Bagi masing-masing yang akan kita wawancarai, kita pada saat itu hanya punya waktu sekitar 1,5 jam. 1,5 jam itu pun mendingan, seringkali hanya 40 menit dengan satu orang, dan kita harus ambil semuanya dari mulai wawancara sampai fotonya. Jadi kalau kalian lihat yang di cover-cover ini, itu foto yang sangat bagus, rekaman yang tadi yang teman-teman lihat juga sangat bagus, rekaman B-roll-nya, teman-teman tahu istilah tersebut ya kalau familiar dengan perfilman. Rekaman B-roll-nya itu karena waktu yang sangat terbatas juga terpaksa kami ambil sambil memotret juga, sambil menyiapkan foto dan photoshootnya. Itu saya kira salah satu tantangan yang paling berat yang kami hadapi.
I will let you guys know that all of those beautiful covers were taken with an iPhone, so that helped us because the photographer was not using flash. So we were able to get video while she was shooting. But isn't that amazing that they're all on iPhone?
Ya, dan trivia foto-foto ini yang foto untuk cover majalah Time-nya ya, yang sangat bagus ini hanya diambil dengan kamera iPhone tanpa flash. Ya, jadi ini adalah salah satu hal yang mudah-mudahan juga menginspirasi teman-teman semua, karena waktunya sekali lagi kan tantangannya waktunya terbatas. Jadi kamera videonya itu dipakai untuk rekam B-roll-nya. Nah, fotonya dengan iPhone, hasilnya luar biasa ternyata.
It's kind of crazy.
And we have obstacles. This one, anonymous in bahasa Indonesia, also obstacle, hardest part in making this documentary.
I'll add, there was a lot of hard parts. I think, so because we didn't have a lot of time with them, once we started editing and post-production, we had to find a lot of archival footage and photos to make it feel like just bigger than what we had time for. So that took a lot of work to find good archival. Sometimes they would send us personal photos, which was great. But yeah, it took a lot of work to make them feel more robust than what we had time for in person with them.
Salah satu tantangan yang terberat secara teknis adalah karena waktu wawancara yang sangat sedikit, maka kami harus mengumpulkan sebanyak mungkin gambar dan video yang lain. Kami sangat beruntung ketika tokoh-tokoh ini mau mengirimkan foto-foto koleksi pribadi mereka. Kalau tidak ya kami harus cari dari pemberitaan, video-video dan sebagainya untuk membuat video ini lebih kaya daripada waktu yang sangat sempit yang kami punya. Untuk itu salah satu kesulitan dan tantangannya secara teknis. Baik, now let's go to, we have questions on advice to new filmmakers, but that would be rather towards the ends, I guess. We have, what motivates you to make the film?
Okay, well, I'll be honest. I was at Time for a month before I got put on this project. And so fear initially motivated me to make it because I wanted to do a good job. But yeah, I was pretty scared and I didn't know if I could do it. And truthfully, through interviewing these women and hearing about how they push through their doubts of themselves helped me make all of these. Yeah, so.
Jadi begini, ini trivia lagi, saya sebenarnya hanya punya waktu 1 bulan sebelum mulai mengerjakan proyek ini. Jadi kalau ditanya yang memotivasi saya apa, fear, rasa takut. Ya, karena saya sangat ingin membuat film ini atau karya dokumenter ini sebagai karya yang bagus. Itu yang memotivasi saya untuk bekerja, dan juga sepanjang prosesnya sambil berjalan saya bertemu dengan perempuan-perempuan yang inspiratif yang juga memberikan saya sendiri kekuatan untuk terus maju dengan proyek ini. Now I have also a couple of interesting questions. One technical questions on research. How do you do research for this film? And then we have two a very personal questions. Is there anyone that you think is most inspiring, or that is that you felt closest with among these women? And then another one is, following the completion of this film, what equality means to you? Would you like to share your visions? Now, which one? Research, and then select one woman if you can, and then also what equality means to you.
Those are all great questions. Thank you. So research was a huge part of this project. Because we didn't have a lot of time with them, that also meant that I couldn't talk to them before sitting down across from them and interviewing them. And, it was difficult because sometimes these women were like Oprah Winfrey, who have been interviewed hundreds of times. And then some of them were like Patricia Beth, the eye doctor who I didn't know who she was. So I spent a lot of time researching any videos they had been in before, any articles they had contributed to. I would say for about average, depending on how famous they were, spent around 2 or 3 hours just researching them, and that's not even forming questions. So it took a long time to see what was out there for each of those women.
Butuh waktu yang cukup lama memang untuk melakukan riset, karena sebagian dari perempuan-perempuan ini sudah melakukan banyak sekali wawancara. Kita bayangkan Oprah Winfrey misalnya ya, sudah melakukan ratusan ribuan wawancara, sehingga untuk menampilkan sesuatu yang baru, sudut pandang yang baru dari seorang Oprah Winfrey tidak mudah. Rata-rata saya menghabiskan waktu sekitar 2-3 jam untuk melakukan riset masing-masing tokoh, tergantung tingkat popularitas mereka. Misalnya ada yang materinya tersedia sangat banyak seperti Oprah Winfrey, ada yang dokter spesialis mata tadi Patricia Beth itu belum banyak, artinya saya pribadi belum kenal dengan beliau, dan materi-materi tentang beliau juga belum banyak. Rata-rata 2-3 itu baru riset saja, belum merumuskan pertanyaan untuk mereka.
And then if I was to pick a woman who I've had the most connection with, I guess I'll make this a 2-part answer, because the other half I can ask the last question as well. I really loved Sylvia Earle. And the reason is because the way she answered my questions about why she loved what she did was just really inspiring to me. She had a childlike wonder about the ocean, and it made me look at myself also and think what am I that passionate about? And I really just enjoyed talking to her for that reason. But yeah, I guess I'll stop there.
Kalau saya harus memilih satu orang, saya akan memilih Sylvia Earle, karena cara dia menjawab pertanyaan. Saya bertanya mengapa ia suka atau mencintai pekerjaannya, dan dia menjawab betapa sejak kecil dia sangat mencintai lautan dan sebagainya, dan itu membuat saya bertanya apa sebenarnya yang sesungguhnya sangat saya cintai di kehidupan dan pekerjaan saya sendiri. Jadi saya sangat menikmati obrolan dengan Sylvia Earle pada saat itu.
And then I guess the second part to that answer is about my personal view on equality. I would say that not just Sylvia Earle, but just having the opportunity to meet all of them really changed my view on equality and also just the state of working as a woman, even for myself in my own job. I think you can only sit across from so many women like this who are giving this kind of advice and not start to realize, oh, this might be happening to me as well. And I would say before starting the project, I did not think about that very much at all. Not because I didn't experience those things myself, but I didn't realize how important it was to know that it was happening. And so I would say collectively as a whole, the first changed me, being able to talk to them.
Ya, dan kalau ditanya apa pandangan saya tentang equality, tentang kesetaraan, pertama-tama ini adalah pengalaman yang sangat luar biasa, bisa bertemu dengan perempuan-perempuan ini sangat mengubah diri saya. Bagaimana mereka melakukan hal-hal yang tidak saya bayangkan bisa dilakukan, dan juga bagaimana mereka sebagai perempuan mengatasi halangan-halangan yang ada di depan mereka. Saya sendiri tidak menyadarinya di dalam profesi saya, meskipun itu juga terjadi, tetapi sebelum bertemu dengan mereka ini, saya tidak banyak menyadari juga hal tersebut, sehingga kalau kita melihat atau ditanya bagaimana pandangan saya setelah membuat film ini, sungguh sangat berubah. Yes, and now we're going to go directly.
Ya, Mbak Sedia.
Ya.
Ya, mungkin sepertinya masih tegang semua ya Mbak, teman-teman di sini.
Iya.
Karena itu kita berharap ada interaksi langsung dari teman-teman. Tadi kita udah pakai teknologi, tapi jangan sampai teknologi menghalangi kita. Langsung interaksi ke Spencer, mumpung ada di sini. Tapi tepuk tangan dulu dong buat semuanya. Semangat, masih semangat. Ya. Silahkan bisa ini interaksi teman-teman, tetap mumpung ada Spencer, gali sebanyak-banyaknya, kasih pertanyaan apa yang masih jadi penasaran dari teman-teman, dan juga biar tambah rame, saya mau minta tolong Larissa bisa maju ke depan juga biar ada satu kursi yang kosong, kasihan kursinya. Larissa bisa tolong maju ke depan. Iya, tepuk tangan buat Larissa. Ya, baik, kita akan lanjutkan tanya jawab. Tapi mohon teman-teman bisa langsung aja nanti. Tadi pertanyaan dari Slido juga udah. Terima kasih yang sudah memberikan pertanyaan. Nah, silakan teman-teman. Ada lagi, saya berharap dan pasti yakin teman-teman masih banyak penasarannya dan masih ada yang ingin ditanyakan. Silakan ditanyakan.
Maybe we want to know about you a little bit more. So tell us about yourself and why you're interested in pursuing a career in media. Jadi kita belum berkenalan dengan Spencer, mungkin pengen tahu juga backgroundnya dia, kenapa dia senang dengan media.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think to give a little background on the way that I am, which contradicts why I became a journalist. I'm a twin. And so very shy and introverted, and did not think that I didn't know that this career existed, truthfully. And I initially just liked taking pictures. Would take pictures of my cat and flowers. They were terrible. But then I got to school and I thought I liked the way the camera works, so I liked the way eyes work, and I thought I would be an eye doctor. And science, it wasn't my forte. So I tried journalism and was really scared because it pushed me to interact with people and open myself and be more comfortable in those spaces. So it's been a journey.
Kalau saya boleh memperkenalkan sedikit tentang diri saya, anak kembar. Dan sangat pemalu sebenarnya. Pada saat kecil saya tidak tahu apa itu jurnalistik, saya tidak tahu bahkan ada karir yang demikian. Yang saya tahu adalah saya suka memotret. Saya sering memotret kucing saya, bunga-bunga, Dan ya demikianlah hasilnya. Pada saat sekolah saya makin tertarik dengan kamera. Saya mengibaratkan kamera seperti kerja mata. Makanya dulu saya pikir saya ingin menjadi dokter spesialis mata. Tetapi saya tidak terlalu pintar di bidang sains ternyata. Dan kemudian saya menemukan apa yang disebut dengan jurnalisme. Pada saat pertama kali terjun ke jurnalisme saya merasa sangat takut. Karena jurnalisme ini mendorong saya untuk membuka diri dengan orang, berinteraksi secara langsung. Padahal saya sendiri sangat pemalu. Jadi ini adalah pengalaman yang sangat luar biasa bagi saya. Sampai akhirnya saya menjadi di hadapan kita semua saat ini menjadi jurnalis.
I will also say that I didn't realize that being an introvert is perfect for journalism because we thrive on one-on-one connections. And I loved being able to sit across from these women and have a personal connection with them. So it was actually a perfect fit.
Saya juga tidak membayangkan awalnya wawancara yang sangat langsung gitu ya, tatap mata satu lawan satu adalah bagian dari pekerjaan jurnalis dulunya. Saya tidak menyadari, namun saya sangat bahagia ketika ini adalah memang bagian dari pekerjaan saya, dan saya sangat bahagia pada akhirnya bisa memiliki atau bisa melakukan interaksi yang sangat langsung dan dekat dengan narasumber saya.
Apakah ada pertanyaan dari penonton? Mungkin apa ada yang tertarik dalam dunia jurnalisme? Anyone interested in journalism? Okay, atau media? Ada yang tertarik? Okay, dan reporter. Apakah ada pertanyaan lagi ya? Oh. Gimana? Oh ya.
Oke, saya pakai bahasa Indonesia aja ya. Soalnya kalau pakai bahasa asing nanti Bu Spencer bingung malahan. Oke, saya pikir persoalan kesamaan gender atau emansipasi di Amerika pun masih tajam seperti itu, apalagi di Indonesia. Sehingga ini adalah sasaran empuk bagi media untuk membuat sebuah karya. Yang saya tanyakan adalah, karena Bu Spencer ini adalah seorang jurnalis, sejauh mana kekuatan dari Time tempat ia bekerja dalam mempermudah akses untuk wawancara dengan tokoh-tokoh dunia seperti ini. Saya kira itu aja, terima kasih.
So the first question is, as we know, gender equality remains a challenge in the U.S., let alone in Indonesia, and also because its nature that it is still challenging. I believe that there's a lot of stories to work on this topic. Now my question is, how do you think the role of time as in making it easier for you to access these figures, these leaders, female leaders?
That's a great question, thank you. I think that Time absolutely has a role in making sure those stories are brought forward. I think for a long time, because a lot of journalists were men, those stories were just left unreported. And I will say, since we worked on First, not intentionally, but Time has started to tell more stories about women and the different experiences and different facets of gender equality. But yeah, I do think that news organizations have a role in reporting fairly, but also realizing when there's an imbalance and in what stories are told.
Ya tentu saja Pak, Time itu memiliki peran yang sangat besar. Salah satu peran yang besar yang dilakukan Time adalah mengangkat lebih banyak kisah-kisah atau pemberitaan tentang perempuan akhir-akhir ini. Jadi First ini adalah salah satu project Time, tetapi bukan satu-satunya. Ada beberapa yang lain sekitar isu-isu perempuan yang makin hari makin diangkat oleh Time. Di masa lalu mungkin tidak banyak jurnalis perempuan, sehingga meskipun kisah-kisahnya ada tetapi tidak terlalu terangkat. Nah ini adalah saya kira peran media Pak. Ibu Spencer menyampaikan untuk tidak hanya memberikan atau melaporkan pemberitaan secara adil dan berimbang, tetapi juga memperbaiki atau berkontribusi terhadap mengurangi ketimpangan-ketimpangan yang ada. Ketika perempuan tidak banyak diangkat, Time berada di depan untuk mulai mengangkat kisah-kisah perempuan.
Di sini saya mau bertanya mengenai teknisnya cara mewawancari tokoh-tokoh yang hebat yang ada di sana. Intinya bagaimana cara Anda menghadapi ketakutan diri saat pertama kali dalam mewawancari tokoh-tokoh tersebut, mengingat bahwa Anda kan awalnya seorang introvert dan kurang tahu juga mengenai dunia jurnalistik seperti itu. Terima kasih.
My question is, how do you face your fear when you started out interviewing these figures? You mentioned that you used to be very shy, and yeah.
Thank you for your question. That's a great question. What did I do? I worked really hard to be prepared for that first one. I would say that the first interview was Mary Barra, who's the CEO of GM, which is a big automotive company in the US. And I was about 10 times more nervous for that interview than I was for Oprah, because it was the first one and I didn't know what to expect, and I was so scared. I will say, before I sat down, even though I researched a lot, I took some time to myself and I sat by myself and I breathed in and out, and I was like, okay, you have to do this. There's no getting out of it, but you can do this. A lot of self-motivating.
Ya, betul sekali, terima kasih atas pertanyaannya. Yang saya lakukan adalah pertama kerja keras untuk persiapannya. Interview yang pertama, wawancara yang pertama kali saya lakukan adalah dengan Ibu Mary. Beliau adalah CEO GM, General Motors, ya, salah satu perusahaan yang sangat besar di Amerika. Dan percayalah, saya 10 kali lebih gugup mewawancarai beliau daripada mewawancarai Oprah sebenarnya. Karena wawancara tersebut adalah wawancara yang pertama. Nah, apa yang saya lakukan pertama-tama adalah persiapan dengan sangat baik. Nah, setelah persiapan yang serapi mungkin dan sebaik mungkin, sebelum memulai wawancaranya bertemu dengan beliau juga saya mengambil waktu untuk diri saya sendiri, tarik nafas, mempersiapkan diri, mempersiapkan mental saya sedemikian rupa, baru bertemu dengan beliau.
Thank you.
Ya, silakan Ibu.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity given. Well, yeah, this movie actually is very interesting because, yeah, was raised about women equality, and maybe is the one of it. I'm the one that a woman that can break through about this limitation happen on me. And then about journalism, it is also a very interesting profession that once I have a dream to become a journalist. Yeah, because in my mind, journalism is very challenging, and I think you do. And yeah, including in investigating 50 women, yeah, the great 50 women in America. And what I want to ask you is that how you manage to investigate this woman. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I will say that if you're interested in journalism, you shouldn't be too scared to pursue it further, because at the core, it's being curious and wanting to have a connection with people who have stories to tell. And although it seems really daunting and like a big institution, that's the core of what you do every day. So if you're interested, you should still pursue. And researching all these women, it took a lot of help. I didn't do it by myself. The first 10, I did by myself, and then I went to my editor and was like, I need help. This is too hard. And because I just didn't have enough time. And so eventually they had reporters at time, like a team of 5, that would help me as the list multiplied to start researching them.
Iya, untuk teman-teman yang lain, Ibu sudah paham. Saya kira teman-teman yang lain juga sudah kurang lebih paham. Tapi kalau boleh saya terjemahkan sedikit, saya kira kalau masih ada cita-cita di bidang jurnalistik, kejar terus saja. Karena inti dari jurnalisme adalah rasa keingintahuan, curiosity, rasa keingintahuan dan rasa ingin memiliki connection atau berhubungan dengan orang-orang yang memiliki kisah untuk mereka ceritakan. So connection with people, with stories to tell. Dan berkaitan dengan riset yang saya lakukan untuk project ini, saya mendapatkan banyak sekali bantuan. 10 tokoh pertama saya melakukan riset sendiri, tapi kemudian saya lapor kepada editor saya dan menyampaikan saya sungguh butuh bantuan karena daftar namanya terus bertambah. Pada akhirnya kita punya tim 5 orang yang melakukan riset untuk keseluruhan tokoh. Silahkan, ya Mbak.
Thank you. I'm Rachel, and
hi.
Hi. Well, I've noticed that your work is about women and how women did their first accomplishment. They achieved this and that, and well, it came to my attention. Like, what about you? Like, have you ever faced any conflict at your workplace? Like, maybe when you interview someone, or maybe during the production itself, like. What is it, the struggle, and what are the conflicts that you faced as a woman? Because I've noticed that this is about women and how they accomplish, how they overcome the conflicts of being a woman. So what about you? Like, what is it that you faced?
That's a great question. So my name, Spencer, in the US is a man's name. So it's a really interesting because if I call a production house that has cameras that I need to rent, and I get on the phone and they hear my voice, they expect that I'm an assistant. And then I show up and try to get the cameras, and they're really surprised. Or if I email instead of calling, and they see Spencer Bacalar, they automatically assume that I'm a man, and then I show up and they're still surprised. So I think for me, it's taking those opportunities where I'm surprising people and try to change their perspective and what they expect. I think for me personally, that's what I've seen the most. I also get a lot of comments like, are you sure you can carry a camera that heavy? That happens a lot.
Oh, and sorry, I have a second part of a question. It's actually a 2-part question. So who inspires you the most? Like, not only in those women that inspired you, and I mean, not only in those women that you interviewed, but just like, in everything. Like, who actually inspires you the most?
Ya, jawaban dari pertanyaan yang pertama, jadi nama Spencer itu umumnya adalah nama laki-laki. Di Amerika nama Spencer umumnya adalah nama laki-laki, sehingga kalau saya misalnya menelpon perusahaan yang menyewakan kamera, ya, ketika saya menelpon mendengar suara perempuan, oh ini mungkin asistennya gitu. Terus setelah si Spencernya ini datang sendiri untuk mengambil kameranya, oh yang Spencer itu kamu gitu. Mereka terkejut sekali bahwa yang datang perempuan. Sama juga ketika saya tidak menelpon langsung tetapi misalnya menghubungi melalui email. Mereka langsung menganggap bahwa Spencer ini Bapak Spencer bukan Ibu Spencer, dan kemudian yang ketika saya datang langsung mengambil kameranya mereka terkejut, dan saya kira yang saya lakukan adalah mengambil kesempatan dari keterkejutan mereka untuk memulai dialog dan mengubah cara pandang orang tentang perempuan. Tapi ya tetap aja ya saya mendapatkan pertanyaan-pertanyaan misalnya, kamu kan perempuan ini bisa bawa kamera berat begini gitu. Masih aja dapat pertanyaan seperti itu. And now off to the second question. Yeah.
And to answer the second question, this is gonna sound a little bit lame,
yeah,
but my mom inspires me, and not necessarily for what she what she has done in her career. It's more that she is unafraid to pursue what at the time she really loves. So she was a flight nurse, so was a helicopter nurse, yeah, for 15 years, and then she realized that she needed to get out of it, and she went and did something completely different. And it takes a lot of bravery to do that, and I hope, I love journalism, but I might not always, and it might be really scary to leave that and try something and start over, really. So I admire that she has that in herself, and I kind of hope that I have that in myself too.
Ya, siapa yang menginspirasi saya? Ibu saya. Bukan hanya karena beliau merawat dan membesarkan saya, tetapi karena keberanian yang dimiliki ibu saya untuk melakukan apa yang sungguh-sungguh dia sukai dan terus memperjuangkannya. Ibu saya berkarir sebagai staf medis penerbangan selama 15 years, selama 15 tahun, dan kemudian mengundurkan diri dan mengerjakan sesuatu yang sama sekali berbeda dan terus mengerjakannya. Saya berharap saya bisa punya keberanian seperti ibu saya.
Thank you for your question.
Terima kasih, silakan kita bisa lanjutkan lagi. Ada yang mau sharing, ada yang memiliki pengalaman yang sama. Boleh tentang kontennya, artinya kita ngobrol soal isu perempuan atau tentang teknis filmmaking, apa saja kita boleh. Silakan. Ya, Mas? Mas? Yeah, do you want to say something? Yeah.
Ya, mungkin saya ingin bertanya tentang sedikit teknisi ya. Bagaimana cara membuat naskah dokumentari agar dokumentari tersebut bisa terlihat lebih hidup gitu, tidak terkesan biasa saja.
How to make a good documentary scripts, stories, how to develop the stories.
That's a good question. Takes a little bit of time to explain, but you want to find at the core what this person is striving for. If there's a tension of what they want and what they're trying to pursue, and if they're going to get there. For the first, it's a little different because we couldn't follow them for an extended period of time, but if you're doing a documentary, usually there's something that you can condense into 3 words or a sentence what their goal is, what their passion is, and whether or not they're going to get there. And you follow them on that journey, but you should be able to condense it down into 3 or 4 words of what they're striving for.
Ya, kalau untuk dokumenter intinya adalah mengetahui apa yang diperjuangkan subjek kita. Jadi apa yang mereka perjuangkan, apa yang mereka inginkan, apa yang mereka cita-citakan, impikan, dan kira-kira apakah mereka akan bisa mencapainya atau tidak. Nah, dan kita juga harus bisa memadatkan itu dari misalnya dialog dengan subjek kita, memadatkan itu menjadi misalnya 3-4 kata atau ya 1 kalimat tentang apa sebenarnya tujuan dan passion mereka, apa yang mereka perjuangkan dan mereka ingin capai dan apakah mereka bisa mencapainya. Intinya menemukan itu, kemudian nanti kita ikuti perjalanan mereka menuju ke apa yang mereka cita-citakan tersebut.
Thank you for your question.
Hello, I'm David. Can you tell us, share about your daily routines as a journalist?
My daily job as a journalist, or what I do? Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Sure. So I work, it's a specific division of our video team that focuses on short documentaries. So that usually ranges anywhere from a minute to 10 minutes. So we don't do breaking news, which is very quick turnaround, and we don't do feature docs, although we're starting to, but I work with reporters at the magazine about what stories are coming up, and usually spend anywhere from an hour to a week on a story, and then usually have some more time for editing. But we usually take stories that are national and try to make them personal, so national trends that are happening since we're not a daily newspaper.
Ya, saya bekerja di satu divisi di majalah Time, tim video yang kami ini tugasnya mengerjakan dokumenter pendek. Dokumenter pendek durasinya antara 1 menit sampai 10 menit. Kami tidak belum mengerjakan documentary feature yang lebih panjang, akan mulai, tapi keseharian kami mengerjakan dokumenter pendek, dan kami bekerja sama dengan reporter majalah untuk melihat kisah-kisah apa yang muncul. Kami tidak mengerjakan breaking news, kami mengumpulkan kisah-kisah dari reporter majalah dan membuat berita yang levelnya nasional itu menjadi personal. Jadi di berita ini ada pemberitaan besar, ada siapa orang-orang di dalamnya atau kisah-kisah di dalam pemberitaan yang besar tersebut, dan membuat video-video singkat yang lebih personal.
Thanks for your question.
Iya, sedikit. Waktu pengerjaannya, kan tadi cerita keseharian ya. Waktu pengerjaan masing-masing video antara 1 jam sampai 1 minggu termasuk editing.
Hello, my name is Michael, and then this some kind of general questions, and it says, what's your advice for new filmmakers that want to make their first movie?
That's a great question, thank you. Okay, what I usually tell people, and this might not make the most sense for making a full movie, but when I started out, I was really bad. And I made really bad things for a while, but it's important to have good taste and look at a lot of things and know what you like and the kind of things that you want to make, and see, shots and visuals that you think are beautiful, or storylines that you really love, and you just keep making things and you keep failing, and eventually things get a little better and a little better and a little better, and then at some point you'll make something you're like, oh, I really like that. I wouldn't put a lot of pressure on yourself to make your first thing amazing, but make something that you learn from it, and you know that you can take the next step and learn something more advanced the next time. Yeah, so you fail a lot, but it's kind of fun.
Ya, yang pertama yang bisa saya ceritakan adalah ketika saya mulai itu jelek sekali hasilnya sebenarnya. Nah, yang bisa saya sarankan adalah ya kita punya selera yang bagus ya, kalau bicara soal filmmaking kita punya selera yang bagus dan kita tahu persis apa yang kita suka, juga referensi yang sebanyak mungkin, lihat sebanyak-banyaknya visual sampai kita menemukan visual seperti apa yang kita suka, lihat sebanyak-banyaknya narasi, storyline sampai kita menemukan apa yang kita suka, dan yang paling penting adalah kerjakan terus. Kita akan melihat diri kita sendiri bertumbuh makin baik. Kita tidak bisa mengharapkan diri kita untuk membuat karya pertama yang amazing, karya pertama yang sangat luar biasa. Saran saya adalah buatlah sesuatu yang bisa kita pelajari. Gagal lagi, buat lagi, gagal lagi, buat lagi, gagal lagi, buat terus sampai kita sampai pada titik membuat sesuatu yang saya suka sekali ini. Begitu.
And I will say, it won't take forever to get better. I don't mean to say you're going to fail on, for years. But it's kind of looking for the small victories and where you get better each time you try. So it's important.
Ya, dan tentu tidak akan butuh waktu seumur hidup ya untuk kita jelek terus gitu. yang paling penting adalah bagi kita untuk melihat keberhasilan-keberhasilan kecil, small victories, keberhasilan-keberhasilan kecil. Oh ya, saya sudah bisa memperbaiki ini, dan terus-menerus memperbaiki diri sampai pada karya yang nanti akan sangat kita sukai.
Thank you for your question.
How much time do we? 2 more, perhaps? 2, ya. Kita tidak punya waktu banyak lagi, sayangnya. Tapi boleh 2 pertanyaan lagi. Di belakang, Mbak. Silakan, Mbak di depan, Mbak, Mas. Silakan.
Can I ask a question?
Oh ya, sekarang Ibu Spencer yang mau bertanya. Kalau tidak ada yang bertanya, please.
Is there any of the women that you liked the best? Or that you
Dari
connected
yang
to? Any women that you connected to the most?
Ada yang mau cerita setelah menonton First ini, siapa favorit Anda atau tokoh perempuan yang Anda merasa paling dekat dengan diri Anda? Silakan. 2 orang teman boleh yang ingin menceritakan? Tidak ada satupun yang menginspirasi. Bapak sudah. Yang lain Pak. Ya, Bapak. Adik-adik yang di belakang, bahasa Indonesia boleh loh. Ya, Bapak dan Mas. Ya. Patricia, ya.
I liked her, yeah.
Mas?
Saya suka yang tadi opera tentang perbedaan kulit itu, dia berani untuk menunjukkan bahwa perbedaan warna kulit itu bisa sama dengan yang beda kulit lainnya. Kulit hitam dan kulit putih tadi itu.
Yang di opera?
Ya. Yang
Aretha Franklin, penyanyi? Yeah. I'm inspired the most by Aretha Franklin. She's not only breaking class ceiling career boundaries, but also racial discriminations and yeah.
Yeah, I loved her too. I think we were really lucky that we got to interview her before she passed this past year.
Ya, saya juga sangat menyukai Aretha Franklin. Sudah wafat beliau tahun ini ya. Jadi kami merasa sangat beruntung bisa mewawancarai beliau.
Thank you guys.
Oh, Bapak mau sampaikan sesuatu? Ya.
Saya mungkin mau tanya ya. Tadi lupa tanya. Tadi ada salah satu yang saya lihat ada pendeta kemudian menyuruh anaknya jadi penyanyi, kalau nggak salah begitu. Ya, cuma bagaimana cara konsep dari pendeta itu wawasannya tentang dunia nyanyinya gitu. Karena ini kan tidak lazim ya, tidak umum. Ya, biasanya ada seorang tokoh agama menyarankan anaknya begini, dimanapun juga seringkali itu sesuatu yang tidak umum.
So I saw on the video, Aretha Franklin's father was a priest. Yes, and my question is, in your views, based on your interview with Aretha, how can a religious leader come to encourage his daughter to go on stage and sing? From our experience in Indonesia, it's a bit unusual for a religious leader to prompt their children to go to for entertainment industry.
Well, I think on their religion, I think is Baptist or evangelical. So music is a huge part of that religion, and he encouraged her to sing at first in the church and to use her talent to glorify God. And I think beyond that, I think it's just he was proud of her talent, and he was proud of what she had to offer the world, and that did not stop him from necessarily cutting her off from only singing at church, which
berdasarkan yang saya tahu dari yang di Amerika Serikat dan juga dari kisah yang disampaikan Ibu Aretha Franklin, tradisi religius mereka, dari mereka latar belakangnya adalah kalau nggak baptis, evangelical, musik dan nyanyian adalah bagian yang sangat besar dari kehidupan gereja mereka, sehingga awalnya Aritha didorong oleh ayahnya untuk menyanyi di gereja, jadi menyanyi lagu puji-pujian untuk memuliakan Tuhan. Tetapi kemudian tidak menutup kemungkinan bahwa Aritha pada saat itu melanjutkan karirnya di bidang seni. Saya kira yang saya dapatkan dari Aritha, kisah-kisah tentang ayahnya adalah betapa bangganya ayahnya dengan bakat dia, sehingga bukan sesuatu hal yang mustahil bahwa dari penyanyi di gereja didorong terus untuk mengejar karir menyanyinya. Ya, kita should we wrap up? Ya, ya, okay. If there's final things that you would like to share.
I just want to say again, thank you so much for coming and for taking the time. And it's a huge honor for me to be able to be here with you all. And I'm so happy you enjoyed it. It means a lot to me, truly. So thank you.
Terima kasih banyak atas kesempatannya. Saya merasa sangat terhormat bahwa teman-teman sekalian menyukai karya saya, sangat berarti bagi saya. Sekali lagi terima kasih banyak. Terima kasih banyak teman-teman buat partisipasinya semuanya. Semoga waktu yang kita manfaatkan pagi ini bermanfaat dan menginspirasi kita jauh lebih panjang dan lebih lama dari waktu yang kita habiskan pada forum yang berbahagia pada pagi hari ini. Terima kasih banyak. Sekali lagi tepuk tangan untuk Ibu Spencer Bakalat. Saya kembalikan kepada pembawa acara.
Baik, terima kasih. Selanjutnya kita akan foto bersama. Nanti saya minta Spencer bisa di depan, Mas Diat dan Pak bisa ke semua, Pak Eko juga. Teman-teman, nanti kita bisa gabung bersama-sama untuk maju ke depan, kita foto bersama. Kita mulai dari sebelah sana, bisa ke depan, ke depan. Bisa maju, Pak. Mbak Bira di depan juga, Mbak Bira. Pak Eko. Ya. Langsung, Pak, semuanya langsung maju. Tapi kita biar teratur maju satu-satu. Ya, kita foto bersama. Silakan teman-teman bisa maju. berikutnya yang sebelah sana, silakan bergantian. Masih. Ya. 1, 2, 3. Ya, sekali lagi. Gaya bebas. 1, 2, 3. Ya, silakan. Oh, bentar, belum. Udah. Oh, kru. Udah, silakan. Udah. Kru, semua kru silakan, kru. Semua kru bisa ke depan. Semua kru bisa ke depan. Kru. Guru-guru VMI bisa. Guru-guru VMI, kru. Baik Bapak Ibu, dengan demikian sudah selesai acara screening dan diskusi kita pada pagi hari ini. Terima kasih untuk kedatangannya. Kemudian untuk setiap kuesioner yang sudah diisi bisa nanti diserahkan di depan. Dan bagi Bapak Ibu teman-teman sekalian yang sudah mendaftar untuk ikut di masterclass, nanti mohon sekali lagi untuk daftar ulang lagi di depan. Jadi bagi Bapak Ibu teman-teman yang ikut masterclass, mohon daftar ulang lagi di depan. Baik, terima kasih atas kehadirannya. Sampai ketemu di lain kesempatan. Sampai jumpa.